that I've ever read about. And remember what his most famous quote was: the bigger the lie, the easier the sell.
That's it, because people just can't believe it. It's the audacity.
Well, let me put it to you another way. My mom and dad are both gone now. I've been an orphan since 1995, but my wife's parents are still alive, and they're elderly people. And when I try to bring this up with them, they don't want to believe it. And the reason is so simple. They don't believe anyone can be that evil. And I think a great deal of people in this country are of that same thought. They don't believe that people can be that evil.
And that's how Hitler was able to do what he did, because people judge the world according to themselves, and if they're nice, sweet people, then they think, and that's the main reason criminologists say women, get in yellow Volkswagens with Ted Bundy, because they can't believe a nice guy in a nice suit is going to be biting chunks out of them an hour later.
Exactly. And that's the thing we have to wake up to, is that there are bad people, there are evil people, and when we sit back, then, evil prevails if we allow it to happen. So we really have to, in many ways, blame ourselves for our own media today, because we're following this National Enquirer media entertainment on TV instead of having them being hardline. The downfall to the regular media actually was the show 60 Minutes. And what I mean by that is 60 Minutes was a great show, and they would do some great investigative reporting, but here was the downfall. Up until that point in time, the media wrote the news off as a business loss, that it was a required thing they had to do, but it didn't make money. When 60 Minutes came out, all of a sudden 60 Minutes was breaking into the top 10, and all of a sudden the light went off with the bean counters. You mean we can make money off the news? And there was your downfall. They got into creating the news instead of reporting it.
Well, and then the CIA moved in big time to trying to influence the media. That's been admitted. Getting back in the couple of minutes we've got left with you, Governor, to 9/11, as a military man in your history, 44,000 U.S. troops, 18,000 British troops, 2 aircraft carrier attack groups in the 3 months before 9/11 massed in the countries and in the waters off of Afghanistan. Newsweek reported Bush, the day before 9/11, signed the attack orders to go into Afghanistan 1 week later. Isn't that pretty obvious when you have all of these troops being massed and then Bush says, oh, we went in because of 9/11?
I can't answer that, Alex, because that's information I have no knowledge about. I have to just simply take your word for it. But if that is true, then absolutely yes. Well,
here's an example. You know about Gulf of Tonkin, because I talked to you a year and a half ago about that. They now admit that that was staged. They now admit, Chicago Tribune, that Israel did attack the Liberty in '67 to try to blame it on Egypt. That's now declassified. That debate's over. Governments, all governments have been caught. Putin's been caught doing things like this. Do we need to have a renaissance, an awakening to this, so criminal elements in government stop doing it? How important is it to expose false flag terror?
Well, that's why I wrote the book, Alex. It's Don't Start the Revolution Without Me, and I believe we must have a revolution in which to take our country back.
In closing, Governor Ventura, the book, bound to be a bestseller, Don't Start the Revolution Without Me. The war, 5th year anniversary was just a few weeks ago. The Pentagon plan said we'll be there at least 50 years. McCain says 100. Cheney said 100-year war. How can we get the troops home when they sell it? And in a way, it's true that by putting the troops there, it wrecked it, so now we have to stay there to fix it. But the studies show if we left, it would get better. What would you do as president? And you said on Larry King last night, so A, the war, and then B, you said that 80-something% on Larry King Live in the poll wanted you to run for president. Are you thinking about running this year, or are you thinking about running in 4 years?
Well, it's impossible for me to run this year unless somebody could get me ballot access in all 50 states, which is very, very difficult to do because the two-party system is set up so that there can't be any third entity that gets in there to give people an alternative choice. So it's impossible for me to run at this late date, I would think. I mean, nothing's impossible, but it would be very slim to none to be able to do it. What we've got to do is, like I said, we got to quit electing these people of the status quo. Whoever comes in next is going to face I don't envy it, because you're going to spend 4 years just cleaning up George Bush's mess, and I doubt you'd be able to do anything on your own at all until a second 4 years.
No, that makes sense. But you're in shape. You're jogging, you told me, every day, and you're surfing, and so hopefully you can get geared up. And in 4 years, perfect time for Jesse Ventura to run for president, maybe with Ron Paul on the ticket.
Well, that remains, you never say never, Alex. I've learned that in 56 years on the planet, that you never say never. So who knows what could happen? But then on the flip side, I might be down there riding giants with what's his name, the big surfer. Shoot, I can't think of his name now off the top of my head.
Hey, it's okay. Governor, you've been very gracious giving us an hour and 18 minutes. I'm going to let you go, and when the book hits the #1 bestseller chart here in the next few weeks, I'd love to get you back on for a quick pop-in about the book. Thank you for all your time, and thank you for standing up for liberty.
Oh, thank you, Alex, and keep up the great work. And between all of us, we can make the United States the great country it used to be, and it can rise up and be that again.
Hey, listen, it's your song. Get back to Mexico, do some surfing for me, Governor.
I sure will, Alex. Take care and good luck.
There goes Jesse the Mind Ventura. We'll be right back.